Hello, and welcome to our very own Humboldt colony here at SEA LIFE Weymouth. Firstly, I'd like to introduce you to our penguins, of which we have 14. We decided to name all of our penguins after different tree species. The names include the likes of juniper, cedar, bonsai, and the animal care team's firm favourite, Princess Peach. The penguins have a wide range of ages, from our youngest, Peach, who was born in July of 2019, to the oldest, Laurel, who was born in April 2001. They can live to be 30 years of age, so they've all got many more years of life to live. Our penguins are easy to identify. If you look at our signs displayed around the enclosure, you'll notice the names with colours next to them. These colours match the bands that you can see attached to the penguins' wings. By being able to identify individual birds, we can make sure that they are eating enough and are the correct weight during their weekly weight checks. It also helps the team to ensure each of the penguins is in good health. The team are also able to identify whether the penguins are male or female, with males having tags on the right wings and the females on the left. Before we move on into some key facts about this species, I'd like you to stop and take a deep breath through your nose. Can you smell that? That'll be the penguin's poo, also known as guano. We do feed them raw fish, hence the nasty smell. The birds use this guano alongside mud to create their nests. So, now that's the smell out of the way, now time for some intriguing facts about these lovable birds. The Humboldt is one of 18 species of flightless penguin from around the world. They share the name with the chilly water current that flows from Antarctica up alongside the coast where these birds live. The current and the birds are both named after the 18th century explorer Alexander von Humboldt. They are medium-sized penguins, reaching a length of 28 inches and weigh around 9 pounds. Unlike most other species of penguin, they live in warm areas along the west coast of South America from Peru down through Chile. The habitat in which they live comprises of rocky cliffs and sandy beaches with easy access to the ocean in which they hunt for tasty fish. They have evolved numerous adaptations that allow them to be effective when trying to catch their dinner. Firstly, the penguin has a layer of oil on the surface of their feathers that creates a water-repelling surface, helping them to dry off quickly on land and stay streamlined while swimming at high speeds of up to 30 miles an hour. They also use their wings to propel themselves and big webbed feet to help them steer through the water. Their bones are also denser than flying birds, helping them to dive down to depths of up to 53 meters. Now, one of the problems with moving so fast in the water would normally be holding onto that wriggly, slimy fish at the same time as swimming. Can you imagine sprinting along the road with your meal trying to escape out of your mouth? It's not an easy task. The Humboldt penguin has barbs on the tongue which help keep the fish in their mouth until they've swallowed it down to their bellies. So that's the food sorted, but what about the drink? How do they access fresh drinking water? These birds have another clever adaptation that allows them to remove the salt from the water that they ingest. Just below their eyes, the Humboldt penguin has a special gland called a supraorbital gland. That allows them to excrete super salty water from their body, and sometimes they also sneeze to remove the salt. When on land, the Humboldt has several ways to keep themselves at the right temperature. Much like you or I, if they're feeling cold, they will shiver, and this generates heat and warms the birds up. On the other hand, if the birds are getting too hot, they have blotchy pink patches on their face, feet and underside of the wings that allows them to lose heat if needed. Now, unfortunately, there are numerous man-made and natural threats that have resulted in this species being listed as vulnerable by the IUCN, with populations decreasing and around 23,800 penguins remaining. Natural threats include predators in the ocean, including sharks and orcas. Man-made threats are numerous. These threats are what's causing the decline in populations, and these include overfishing of their favourite food, which are sardines and anchovies by the local fishermen, and also the penguins getting tangled in their discarded fishing equipment. As we mentioned earlier, the nesting grounds for penguins are layered with guano, their poo, allowing the birds to burrow. This guano acts as a rich fertilizer for crops and creates a source of income for the Peruvian government. The harvesting of this guano means that the birds cannot nest properly, reducing the population even further. The final threat, and perhaps the most poignant that we'll cover today, involves climate change and could be pretty complex to explain. So we're going to keep it nice and simple. Climate change can have unusual effects on our planet's system. One such system that sometimes occurs is known as the El Niño. This has a dramatic effect on weather alongside other systems. It's happening more regularly now, and scientists are pretty certain that it's due to man-made climate change. This El Niño means that the process of cold, nutrient-rich water rising from the surface, known as upwelling, happens less often. Without this nutrient-rich water, algae doesn't grow. Krill has nothing to graze on, the fish have nothing to eat, and as such, nor do the Humboldt, and the Humboldts eventually starve and die. It all looks pretty bleak for the Humboldts on the surface. There is, however, much that we can all do to help the species' populations to grow and recover. At Sea Life, captive breeding projects aimed at bolstering ex situ captive populations ensure that plenty of individuals will be safe and secure at our sites globally. As a company, we also raise awareness by providing you, the guests, with the vital information about the species and the things that you can do to help to make a difference. Make sure that you save power by being energy wise and trying to reduce your carbon footprint however you can. Try to reduce your fish intake and supplement with other healthy foods, and make sure you tell your friends and family about what you and they can do to help. It's all of our responsibility to ensure the survival of the species and their habitats. Remember, you can adopt one of our Humboldt penguins, and although you won't get to take one of these lovely birds home with you, you will receive a cuddly toy, one free entry to the public aquarium, and an information booklet all about your chosen species. So why not inquire today in the main building?